So I love every team meeting. This just like energizes me when I see everybody in here like this. So this is welcoming. How are you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Fantastic. So right after the educational piece, we're going to get all the sponsors up here. So as soon as Charles finishes the educational piece, we're going to get you all up here and do your thing up here. So guys, I'm almost ready to start because I'm like really excited, as you can see. So I'm just going to start off by telling you a little bit about Charles, even though we're 2 minutes early. So this quest started back around March, I think, February. It's been about 7 months that I stepped into the role to interim team leader because it was the right thing to do. As the franchise owner and OP, the operating principal, it's my responsibility to make sure that this office is taken care of. And I did it to the best of my ability coming in here. Now, the one thing I want you to take away, if you're on a team, if you run a team, is I want to be a role model for other people to show you how to grow your team, because isn't that what we do at Keller Williams? We're growing our team.
Yeah.
And I followed a process, very disciplined. I took career visioning. I don't know how many times I used to teach Recruit Select, which was career visioning before they called it that. And I actually had about 45 candidates. Right. And every time that we would get through the process, and remember, to hire one person, that means that's 8 interviews. So if you don't know that, there's 8 interviews to get to the hiring process. So, and all along the way, most of those people, more than 90% of them, after 1 or 2 conversations, that was enough. Right. And then for that, and I told them the honest truth. Either I put them on growth plans or I just wasn't the person I was looking for. Not that they lacked, it just that they didn't excel in a certain area. So I never lowered my standards, guys. And that's what I want you to take away if you're building a team. Never settle. I didn't settle in marriage, and I'm not going to settle on team leaders, and I'm not going to settle on leadership. Never settle. Gary has a coffee cup that says never settle. And I took that to heart. I'm saying, why wouldn't I want to protect one of the biggest investments I have in my life, this market center. It's the biggest one the biggest market center I'm the OP of. So I took this very seriously, even if that meant that I had to come in and do the work myself. I had to fix a lot of things. We're still fixing things. Charles is going to be fixing things. And when I say the word fix, that means setting up new systems. So I'm going to give you a little bit about Charles and let him speak, and then we're going to go on with the team meeting. So I met Charles probably about a month ago, right? And so we had a small conversation, seems longer. We had a short conversation on the phone, and we set up our first appointment in person. And at the end, I says at any time you can back out or I can, if you don't find this. So let me start with sharing the vision of what I see and what I'd like to accomplish with this office. And I did that. And I said, so at the end of this conversation, learning about Charles, I found out he was the number 3. He was with Keller Williams, first of all, for 15 years in Boston, Massachusetts. So we'll still convert him to a Yankee fan. Right? So 15 years, he's very familiar with Keller Williams, 411s, 135s. He knows all of that stuff. He's obviously been Kellerized. Then he moved down to Florida because of an opportunity, not real estate. As a teacher, he's an instructor, right? That's where his degree is in and everything. So he took that opportunity, which led to the next real estate opportunity, which was with La Rosa Realty. So Charles was the number 3 person for all of La Rosa Realty, 3,000 agents in several states and in Puerto Rico. And Charles was the vice president in charge of education and productivity. What does that mean? It means Charles wrote the curriculum for the training for La Rosa. So he's not only an author, he was the presenter. He would teach the people how to present, right? And then the La Rosa Realty had 50 productivity coaches. Mm-hmm. All 50 reported to Charles. So what is his specialty? His specialty is people, communicating with different audiences of different types, different learning abilities. Some people will learn up here, some people will learn down there. He's accustomed to all of those things. So to me, this was like a dream come true. I've always said to you in Keller Williams model, the most important thing we do is recruiting. However, and when I was a team leader, I would say the same thing. However, as an OP, the number one thing I want to make focus on is retention. You know, Keller Williams said 80% of our job is recruiting, 20% is building up the people here. I see this more as a 50-50 split. So in other words, investing my time or our time into you, building you up so you can fulfill the dreams that you want. So Charles understands recruiting is still a big part of what he's doing, but he understands that 50% is in this room right now. It's not the 80-20. And when we're with Georgia Alpazar, we just say yes when she says it's still 80-20. But the truth is, you guys are, the people in this room have been in business a long time. I know that you're still 29 years old, but you may have 20 years in real estate, right? So with that being said, I would love, it is my honor to introduce you to Charles Gracy.
Well, after that introduction, I don't know that there's anything else to say, so goodbye. No, I'm kidding. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'm super excited to be here. Again, Rich in the process was pretty interesting. I called Rich the day before my first interview and canceled it and said, no, I'm not coming. I've decided not to. And he said, why? And I said, oh, I have these concerns, these things that are going on. And he said, just talk to me first. Just promise you'll come and talk to me. And I did. And as you all know, he can be pretty dynamic. And as we started the process, it really felt like a good fit. And I'm really glad to be here. I was with Keller Williams for a really long time. I know, I look like I'm in my 20s.
29, yeah.
I started originally in real estate as an operations manager for Remax office. My spouse, Mark, was agent in that office for a very long time before I got there. And he said to me one day, after I was complaining about the lack of money I was making and the amount of hours I was working and the agents that I was dealing with. And so he said, yeah, you know what? You should become a real estate agent. Become a real estate agent and you'll have total control of your schedule. You'll work really a lot less and you'll make so much more money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, as you all know, none of that was true. I worked harder, but I had so much fun and I really enjoyed it. We went from Remax to Keller Williams right at the beginning when Keller Williams was starting in Massachusetts. I believe actually we were at the first market center there. It took a long time to get us there. We had a team at Remax. We were happy there. Our broker was one of our best friends. I'll tell you what did it. They sent us to Mega Camp. Mega Agent Camp, and we met Gary and we met Mo, and that was it. We were done. Done, signed, sealed, and delivered right there. Loved Keller Williams ever since. The biggest thing for me is education. Obviously, I'm an educator, right? So education and training is huge. This is the best company in the world for that. And I've been in other places. I've run other education departments. I can say that with full honesty. It's incredible, the opportunity that's here. I then went back to school. I got a couple more degrees. I don't know why, just because, you know, I decided I needed more student debt in my life. I became a full-time teacher and I worked full-time as an educator for a bunch of years. As Rich said, I originally came down here to be a teacher in Miami at a very hoity-toity private school. I did it for 2 years and then ran screaming. Never teach middle schoolers. Just don't do it. Go the other way. So I did that for 2 years and then I said, okay, enough of this. My spouse, who was also in real estate, full disclosure, you can ask me anything at any time, but full disclosure, was with La Rosa at the time. He was the South Florida Regional Director. I was not in real estate. They asked him to come up here and be the COO of the company, which is his current position. At the same time, they needed somebody to work their education piece. I did not get my job from my husband. I did get my job from Joe La Rosa, so there was no, there's none of that in there. And I did that for the last 3 years. So I got to take my two loves, education and real estate, and combine them together into one job. And I've been thrilled to be in that position. And now I get to be here with all of you, which is even more exciting. I've gotten to meet a couple of you already, sit down, have our one-on-ones. I want to do that with every single person. It's really important to me because I care about you, even if I don't know you. Because of the choices that we've made, right? We've decided to become a family within KW together in this office, and that's super important to me. So please book an appointment with me. But that's all the boring stuff about me, and nobody really cares about any of that, right? So let's play a game. How many people like games? I told you I was a school teacher. You're gonna get it if you like it or not. You don't have to do much except raise your hand for the moment. All right. So I'm gonna read some statements. If they apply to you, meaning it is also you, you need to raise your hand. Okay, it's pretty easy. We got it? All right, good. First one. I play video games. Nice. Okay. Second one, I'm an only child. Okay. Are you playing over here?
I was.
All right. I'm just making sure.
I was the video game guy
Good guy.
at 3:30 in the morning this morning.
Okay. You playing? Yeah. Okay, has one or more dogs. Oh, okay, cool. Likes to sing. Yes, all right. Car, shower, wherever. You sound really good in the shower, right? Definitely. Okay, has traveled out of the country. Wow, okay, we're not gonna get to all of you. One person scream out your favorite place in the world that you've been to.
Italy.
Beautiful, okay, mine's Greece.
Greece.
Okay, good. Speaks another language. Awesome, cool. I can't even read, oh, that's because they're on my head. You know, okay, loves to read. Okay, we're starting a book club, so all these hands, loves to read, let's see it. You're all in, book club, once a month, we'll talk later. Okay, loves the beach. Okay, if you're in Florida and you don't love the beach, we need to have a conversation. Because you can go to Massachusetts, where I'm from, and have all the snow you want, but I don't want it back, okay?
No, that wind is crazy.
Oh, no. Okay, is adopted. Okay, cool. Loves pizza. With pineapple. Okay, I'm not raising my hand for that, I just wanted to see what happened. All right. Loves board games. Yes. I could tell you're not millennials because, yeah. Listens to country music. Got you, Tom, got you. All right, has seen a Broadway show. Yes. Oh my God, I'm loving this. You should try this with middle schoolers. It's not the same.
Can you say something, Charles? Charles started his career on Broadway,
I did.
Broadway actor.
We could talk.
Which show?
Miss Saigon, 90s. We'll sing about it. No, okay. Where are we? Like superhero movies or TV shows. Okay, this is a fact you will learn about me quickly, and wherever I can put it in, I will. I am addicted to, obsessed with, would have married Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. I have a tattoo, so Linda Carter or Wonder Woman will show up in almost everything I do, just so you know. Okay. Okay. Favorite color is purple. Okay. Good.
Purple and red.
Loves chicken wings.
Oh, yeah.
There is a one brand in particular. I like the wings. I mean, come on. Has read all the Harry Potter books. Okay. Is married. Nice. Can read music.
Oh, no.
Okay. And has children. Okay, cool. So if you raise your hand to any of that, everything on that list, as you probably saw, is all about me. So we have something in common. Something on that list in common, right? Thank you for playing along. Fun, easy way to get to know somebody. I got to see a lot of hands go up, but honestly, getting to know people, getting to know and understand you as a human being is utmost important to me, which is why I'm having these one-on-one. So please come talk to me. I'm pretty easy to talk to, as you can see, and I might even make you laugh every once in a while.
Mhm.
Okay, so any questions? I am an open book. So you heard Rich, I was on Broadway in the nineties, in a show called Miss Saigon. I have done tons of parts. I've been Nathan Detroit in Guys and Dolls. I've been Jean Valjean in Les Miserables. I was in Chorus Line when I was much younger and much skinnier. Yeah, so that was my first career. My second career was real estate. My third career was education, and here I am. So what do you got? Questions?
You did it all.
Wow.
I think the wow factor's setting in.
All right, good. Well, when we're talking, if you have questions, that's what I'm here for. Okay,
You guys want to do a cheers to him since you have? your-
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Everybody, if you have a
Oh,
drink,
there's one behind your computer. One.
if you don't, raise a couple there.
thank you all.
I know we're not in England, but I'm gonna say long live Charles and his reign here in the South.
cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, yeah.
So guys, it's been brought to my attention, and I wanted to share about the marketing dollars, because I believe there's some misconceptions. Misconceptions. So I want you to hear it from me, the person who brought this out about a year and a half ago, or whatever time frame. I don't remember when it came out. So I wanted to do something for the agents about a year and a half ago. One, to make a statement to say I care about you. Number two, I wanted to partner with agents who wanted to grow their business. Let me say that sentence one more time, because that's the underlying reason for this whole thing. I wanted to partner. Does everybody understand the word partner, what that means? I want to partner with people who want to grow their business. Did I say maintain? I said grow. I choose my words carefully, guys. I'm a coach. So this is important. So what does this look like? So Kate and I at the time spent a lot of time figuring what this would come out to look like. So for an agent who is capped, that means an $18,000 cap. Not if you're a buyer's agent at 9,000, not if you're a showing assistant at a different cap. If you're paying an $18,000 cap, I wanted to give back if you wanted to grow your company. So if you did it one time, we agreed that I would give you a stipend of $100 a month for the year. If you did it twice, I would give you $150 a month. And if you've done it 3 times, I will pay you $200 a month. However, the caveat is it's to grow your business, which means this is marketing money. So if you're buying leads from Zillow, that's marketing. If you're buying them from realtor.com, that's marketing. If you're doing a newsletter, that's marketing. If you are sending out postcards, that's marketing. You have to send or submit your receipt from the previous month to Heather by what day of the month? That does not mean the 21st. So I don't know about you, but all of my education in real estate has come from, even though I've only been with Keller Williams 14 years, 18 years in real estate, I haven't been trained outside of Keller Williams in real estate. So everything for me is on a budget. I understand finances, I understand budgets. So that means if an agent doesn't send their receipts in January, but sends 2 months in February, what should they expect to get paid in February? 1 month or 2? We've hit a nerve. We've hit a nerve. See, I'm teaching you in role modeling, everything I do from the way I hire, the way I went about hiring the team leader to the way I run budgets. I'm role modeling how to run a professional business. You should be doing the same thing. We work on budgets. So, and now I want you to think about from the perspective what I just said. The marketing budget is there to invest and partner in people who want to grow their business. Now, are there some agents out there who are content and they don't want to grow their business? Does that make them bad? No. But if they're not looking to invest, if they're not looking to spend, if people are not looking to invest in themselves, what is the attraction to have outside people invest in them? Say it again.
Nothing.
There is nothing. There's no attraction. So I'm looking to invest in people who are willing to invest in themselves. So if you're willing to market to grow your business, I'm gonna give you an allowance, just like our parents did when we were 10 years old. Only it's gonna be several $700 a month. Does that make sense? Now, if you don't go out and spend, in other words, let's say you do a mass mailer and it costs you $600 in February, you get $200. Then if you don't do any for the next 2 months, you get 0 and 0. It's not, well, I spent $600 in February. I can't run a budget by tripling up in 1 month and then having 2 months of nothing. Think about if every agent did the same thing and tripled up in 1 month and expected me to pay them 3 months in 1 month. And if that was the same month, everybody did that, what would happen to the office? We would have a cash flow problem. Does everybody understand finances and money? Is everybody understanding the intent of the marketing money? It is given out to you to help and partner agents who want to grow their business. So if you don't want to grow your business and market, I'm okay with that. I still love you, but you're not entitled to marketing money. If you're not disciplined enough to get the receipts to Heather by the 20th, I still love you, but you're not entitled to marketing money. If you don't have an $18,000 cap because you're a buyer's agent or your expansion agent, I still love you. But you're not entitled to the marketing money. Does everybody clear with this now? Now, from time to time, we should probably bring this up again. Now, do you think other offices are giving a marketing stipend? Just so you know, it costs the office how much money a month?
Between 11 and 1,500.
No,
No.
no.
Hundreds of.
How much is it costing? That's on the P&L. What about deductions from office space?
Sorry, ask the question.
How much money is it costing us a month in the marketing money on the spreadsheet? Some is put towards the office.
Towards the office, yes, sorry.
How much is it costing?
20, so that brings it to 23 to 26.
$100 a month. Now I'm willing to do it. And if you don't want it, that's okay. If you don't want to grow your business and do marketing, that's okay. How do you get it if you're not getting it? By capping. If you cap one time, you pay $18,000. The next month you'll get $100 a month towards your marketing. Now, if you don't choose to market, then there's nothing. Does anybody have any questions on marketing? Is this straightforward? I'm pretty direct. Now, I don't know, and my thing with, I just spoke with Charles because he's brand new. He just started last Monday, and Heather and Mike is, my goal is, and I know sometimes this is challenging, the goal is one company, one voice. We should all be saying the same message. So if one of us gives out wrong information, shame on us. Shame on us. We need to be one company, one voice. And that now includes you too. You just heard it from me. So if you hear another agent quoting something that's not correct, we need to be one company, one voice. Because sometimes the more the message is said, it gets misconstrued. And I'm not saying it's on the person who's hearing it, it's probably on the person who's saying it, which means it was staff. So who's responsible for the staff? I take full responsibility. Those are my apologies. That's on me, guys. That's not on you. So if anybody had a different scenario, my apologies to you. I want to be clear, because sometimes I think I'm clear in my own mind, but in reality, my wife says, Rich, you're in another planet. You're not clear. So I just wanted to do that. Any questions on? If not, we're going to move on, and we're going to move on to the educational piece. Is everybody good? Charles, you're up. What?
Okay, sorry about that. Dun, 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 the shit. How many of you were around in 2007, 2008? In real estate, yeah, sorry, let me rephrase that. In real estate. You've been there,
Yeah.
right?
We're only
It
12
was not
years old.
It was not fun. I'll never forget going to a mega agent camp right before all of that happened, and Gary, in his usual wisdom, who knows everything, I don't know how. He said, listen, it's coming and it's gonna be bad. And here's the thing that you have to remember, just get to the other side. If you can get to the other side and get through it, then you are poised to be a mega agent from that point forward. And he was absolutely right. Because what happens? What happens in a shifting market for people with a license? They leave, yeah. They leave. Why? Because all of a sudden it's not quite so easy. We can't list a house on Monday and get 52 offers on Tuesday with over asking cash from investors from somewhere else. Right now is the time in a shift when we actually, and it's really interesting, reacquainting myself with the book, go back to the basics of real estate. Unfortunately, some of the basics get lost, right? So let me ask you, can you change the market? No, as much as we would love to, we can't. We cannot change the market. What can we control? Ourselves and what? Our actions, right? And our reactions to the market. Again, way back then, I'll never forget it. Gary said, they're going to ask you, how's the market? Gary's word, unbelievable. Could be either way, right? Unbelievably good or really unbelievably. Okay, unbelievable. The market is always unbelievable. Great, Gary. Thanks. No, he's absolutely right. It's what you make of the market that is going to put you where you want to be. So I want you to do something for me now, another exercise. Everybody up. Promise I won't make you do like sit up, stand up or anything like that. You're not doing jumping jacks. Okay, so I want you to take either hand. I want you to put your pointer finger, you're not supposed to point at people, straight up in the air. Now, I want you to move your hand clockwise. Make circles on the ceiling clockwise, straight up. On the ceiling, straight above you clockwise. Right? We all know what clockwise is, right? 12, this way.
That's a clock here, not in Australia, guys.
Yeah, and not a digital clock. Okay, slowly, I want you, now you're sure you're moving your finger clockwise, right? Right? We think so? I want you to bring that down slowly, below your shoulders. And now I want you to look at your finger. What way are you going?
Counterclockwise.
Drawing on the ceiling in a clockwise motion.
Counterclockwise.
What is that? Okay, you can have a seat.
Wow.
Okay, what? What? You said do clockwise. I thought I was doing clockwise. But when I take a look at it from a different perspective, different reality, we find that things are changed, right? And that's what we have to do in a shifting market. We have to make sure that mentally, our perspective about what's happening is right. Okay, there are three types of people in this world, according to the book. The first type of person is what? In a shift. Takes a bit, isn't okay. Both. All right. The first type of person is that negative person who says, oh no, the market shifted and now I'm really upset and I'm not going to have any business and this is so terrible. And we call them what? The Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Help me.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. That's an option. Right? We got the second type of person who is hopeful and wishful. That sounds really great, doesn't it? I'm really hopeful that this is going to go well. And when I get to the other side, we'll see what happens. Yeah. That's the Pollyanna syndrome. Everything is perfect. Or I'm going to stick my head in the ground and wait. That's an option. We have that option. And then what's the third kind of person? The realistic. The person, now let me ask you a question before I get that far. We had a hurricane. Did everybody do okay in the hurricane, I hope?
Yes, I got.
Yeah. Before the hurricane, Did you do anything to get ready for it? Say like what? What did you do?
I bought lots of water.
Hey, lots of water,
I
good,
took money out of the bank.
yeah,
Lots of propane
Canned
for
goods.
my grill.
nice, you went and got the gas for the grill,
Yeah.
yeah, what else did you do?
Furniture.
Prep the house.
Prep the house, okay.
Lori forced me to say
Got rid
that.
of everything that-
Lori forced you to get the handbags, right? We're gonna be really prepared with the handbag.
Gas in the car.
Dog food, gas in the car. Hey, what is that called? Preparation. We understand this already. So the third kind of person is the person who respects the fact that they might fail. They actively prepare, like we did in a hurricane. And then they're poised for success on the other end, right? They're not pretending it doesn't exist. And they're certainly not saying the sky is falling. They're saying this is coming, this is how I'm getting ready, and this is what I'm doing. So you have to decide right now, in this moment, what are you gonna be? Are you gonna be Chicken Little? Are you gonna be Pollyanna? Or are you gonna be the realtors that this time make it through this shift to the other side, where you're then poised to pick up even more business and be even more successful? So who wants to be Chicken Little? Oh, come on, no one? That doesn't sound, all right, how about Pollyanna? Pollyanna sounds pretty good sometimes. Okay, I love it. Yeah, we have got to be the agents that are prepared for this and ready to make it through it. Yeah, that's a mindset. That's up in here. Okay, so make sure that your mind is right. Step one. How many of you in here have children? Love it. How many of you, if you don't have children, went through the college process of getting in yourself or whatever? Okay, if you have a child that's a junior in high school, what happens that year?
Oh,
SAT first.
testing, filling out application, grant.
Yeah. Well, we would call that for our kids growth, right? Get out of my house, go to college, please, whatever. Okay, so they start looking at colleges, right? There's 1,010,000 colleges around the world that they could go to. That's a real number, by the way. No, it's not. So they start looking at colleges. What is that called? They're getting what?
Prepared.
Prepared or
Curious.
they're getting clarity, okay? They're getting clarity on what schools are gonna work for their major or what they feel like they wanna do. So we gotta get clear. Second thing that happens is they narrow down their choices, right? They could apply to 110,000 million colleges, and now we're gonna be broke because every single one of these is an application fee. But they narrow down their choices, right? Well, what's that called? They're getting their what straight?
That's in a row.
The priorities, yes. Good, I love it. So they're getting their priorities straight. So clarity, get my priorities straight. Okay, the next things is they submit applications, they do financial aid paperwork, they write essays, they interview with the college, maybe they visit the campus, and they wait for their acceptances. What is all of that? Actions, right? They took focused actions to get to their goal, which is ultimately to get to college. Guess what? You are all now ready for the shift, because that is exactly what you have to do as a real estate agent now. Get clarity around your business, clarity around your numbers. Okay, you need to then make sure your priorities are clear in your business. What is it that is a priority? We're going to talk about that in a second. And then you are going to take focused action and get to your goals. Does that sound like anything different than if you make a goal board at the beginning of the year in a really great market like last year? No, isn't that interesting? So we know this stuff, but would you agree that maybe when times are really good and easy, we don't really think about it too much? We don't have that luxury now in a shift. We have to do that. Okay? So. You're not gonna like this part. You're not gonna like it. Those of you who have teams. What is the number one job you have in real estate? What is it? It's only one thing. Honestly, real estate is about one thing,
Lead generation.
lead generation. And then once you generate the lead, you then have to do what to it? Follow up or convert.
Convert it, yeah.
Okay, again. If you're a solo agent, you have to be good at both of those, or you're not gonna survive in this business, right? Those of you who have teams and the rainmakers in the room right now, this is the part you're not gonna like, because sometimes you start delegating things out to other people on your team, and sometimes that gets delegated out. The rainmaking and the conversion. Well, let me tell you, as the team lead, the rainmaker, that is your one and only job. And in this shifting market, you cannot allow someone else on your team who is not as adept at it as you to do it, or you've lost business. So you're going to have to take that back. Rainmakers, you might not like that. I'm sorry. You do have to take it back. You have to take control of it. You have to make sure that, and single agents, if your conversions aren't great, if you go on 4 appointments and you only convert one, that's a 25% conversion rate. We need to work on that. You need to get that conversion rate up. You're the only one that can do that. That's important in this market, okay? So keep that in mind. Conversion, lead generation has to be you, has to. Okay, so how many of you have ever heard of something called the Eisenhower matrix? Anyway, okay. Who knows who Eisenhower is?
Part of the guy.
Who is he? He was a president. Okay, he was also in the military, right? So he had something called an Eisenhower matrix, and I hope this will really help you. He said things that are urgent are not necessarily important, and things that are important are not necessarily urgent.
That's good.
Okay, so we got urgent. Wow. Had a moment there. We have not urgent. We have important. And we have not important. Okay, things that are urgent and important in your business mean that you do them. You do not delegate them. You do them yourself. You have to. This is your lead generation and conversion.
Your one thing.
Your one thing. If it's important but not urgent, right? So this is urgent and important, you do it. If it's important but not urgent, what do you do with it? Nope. Yes, thank you. You schedule it. If it's urgent and not important, what do you do with it? Who said it? I just heard it.
Delegate.
Delegate. Get rid of it. And if it's not important and not urgent, what do you do with it?
Trash can.
Delete.
Delete.
Right?
Delegate and delete.
This is a part of another class that I teach, which is all about time blocking, time management. But it really is important right now, right in this moment, in the shifting market. This is where you need to focus on those things that are urgent and important to you. Now, this is all, by the way, tip 1, tactic 1 from the shift book. So if you haven't read it, you're way behind. I'm going to give you some pointers each week, but you got to get into that book. Okay. Tactic 2, and it's much shorter, so it won't take me much longer to talk about this. The first book for the book club, it might be. The number 1 determinant of thriving is, as a real estate agent, the number 1 thing, we just talked about this, the number 1 thing that will get you to thrive is lead generation, lead generation, lead generation. But the number 1 thing or number 1 determinant of surviving is what?
Prioritize.
Tracking.
Pipeline.
When you say tracking, talk to me. Tracking what?
tracking your numbers, tracking your daily activities.
Good. More specifically, expense management, ROI. Remargin your business. Point two is really pretty simple in the book and in life. Take a look at what you're spending money on, find out if it's working. And by the way, the ROI on anything you spend, for every dollar you spend, you should make that dollar back and some profit. So you really need to look at your business and you need to figure out, I'm spending money on these things. Am I making that money back and plussing it? The answer is no, cut it. And that means everything, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing is sacred. If you're a team and you aren't ready to be a team and you hired an assistant and a transaction coordinator and you don't have the business to support that, you're gonna have to look at it. Painful truth, but it's true. Okay, so make sure you're looking at your numbers and you've got your ROIs on every penny you spend. If you're not making money on it, you gotta get rid of it. Gotta get rid of it. Okay, cut, and then cut some more. Okay, which is more motivating? Fear of loss or fear of gain?
Fear of loss.
Fear of loss. Anthony Robbins says everyone in the world is motivated by one of two things: pain or pleasure. Pain or pleasure. So, Tom, are you motivated by fear or pleasure? Okay, it's April 14th at 10 p.m. Are you done or have you not even started?
3 months back.
Pleasure, because he doesn't want the pain of waiting that last minute. If you're a procrastinator, by the way, if you're a procrastinating person, it means that you're motivated by pain, not by pleasure. Because you put it off until you can't put it off anymore. You're motivated by pain. Welcome to the world of S&M. No, I'm kidding. Okay, pain or pleasure. In this case, we need to start cutting out the extra expenses. Step one, get right in your head, make sure that you know your perspective, make sure you know your goals and where you're going. Step two, look at your money. There's 7 more steps, something like that. We'll get to later. Questions? Was this valuable?
Yeah.
Was this valuable? Did I promise you that if you come to my meetings, that you would walk out of here with something you can put into your business right away? Will you all come back for more meetings? Will this room be this filled every time? All right, I love it. Well, right, there won't be Moses every time, but you never know.
Don Julio 19.
That's not on my, it's not on my budget. So why don't we bring up the sponsors? All of you come up here all at once, and while they're coming up here, I want to just add another message, guys. Obviously, if you want shift books, speak to Heather. They're $15 a copy. We have them in the office. Before we get to Mike, we're going to do the sponsors. And I want to share something that I'm seeing more of, kind of like a case study, but there's not really any questions in here. I just want to state there's a lot of fraudulent activity going on in real estate right now. Be aware. So Murray ran into one case in our Lake Nona office. There was 4 cases with one agent. That's people who are purporting to own a house that list it and put it under contract, and they're not the owner. They assume the person's identity. They go to the tax records. I don't have an answer how to solve this, because if I say that I'm Mike Lennartson, right? How do you know what Mike looks like? Right? And if I have, and so I sign it as Mike, but Mike's in Europe for 2 months, and I go list the house and it sells in 3 days and closes in 30 days, right? So there's a lot of this going on. I don't have an answer for you. You may want to request driver's license or a passport. I don't know that that's required, but I believe that you need to do something more than just take a person's word. I mean, Mike's got an innocent face. I would trust him. But there's a lot of people out there that look like Mike that are Mike, right? And so they're listing houses with real estate agents that they don't own the property. They're assumed identities of the real owner. They set up a fake bank account. The house closes before a person comes home or whatever. They get the money, close up the bank account, 12 minutes, and the money's gone. Yes.
But are those agents meeting with them over Zoom? I'm
A
sure.
lot of them are in person. Some of them are real estate. Listen, I'm sure some of them may have, Brandy. I'm not sure what their technique is. In the 5 instances that I know about, 4 in Lake Nona and 1 with Murray, all 5 of them, none of them closed. They found out before. So I'm just telling you, be aware, be cognizant. Yes.
I think right now we have to even go a step farther back and look at everything with new eyes. Like I called Murray the other day and I said, geez, I haven't done this for years, but this is where I'm at. Is this what I'm still doing? He
Yeah.
said, oh yeah, but just to double check because everyone's going to be in the same situation where their whole world is shifting. So make sure that you double check for yourself, for the office, for your buyer or seller, whoever you're working for.
And this is something new that I haven't seen, 6-7 years ago, there was the big thing on Craigslist with, they were leasing out, people were leasing out vacant homes. They were up for sale. They'd see it on Zillow, it says vacant, whatever. And then they'd go and put a post on Craigslist, say the house would normally list for $2,000 a month. They'd say $1,300 first person, and you have to send in a money order, right? Or some sort of wire the money. And they would, guys, they weren't the owner of the house. And even though a lease survives the sale of a house, but I don't know that a fraudulent lease will. And then people were out of their mind. Money, whatever, you,
So we have to always be very mindful of that as well in our business, of course. Okay, we're still on the roller coaster ride of interest rates. Last week was not a pretty week. So today I just wanted to talk a little bit about some tactics and some tools and things that you can use to help your sellers, to help your buyers, to kind of overcome those objections about interest rate. But one of the things that's really important is, as our market's shifting and as people are going to be leaving the market, it's really important for us to be focused on being the expert, being the advisor, and adding on your team, having a lender on your team who is the person that is a resource for you to utilize to help your sellers, to help your buyers. I get pulled in all the time into real estate transactions as they're negotiating to say, okay, we're getting close, but we need a little help because we have to overcome this objection from the buyer who feels like the payment's a little bit too high. What can we do to work around this? How can we help use the money from the sale of their home to help them consolidate or pay down some debt to then put them into this new home and make it affordable for them? And so getting us involved with your clients early on in the process, we can help them to overcome those rate objections. We don't talk to them about the values of their home and where the market's going to go. That's what you guys do. But in terms of rate objections and how to overcome those fears, having an expert on your team that can talk to them and really break down the numbers and get in front of them and talk to them about what's important to them and what's important about their payment is really important. So it's important to be working with a lender who does have expertise and experience, not just the paper that they printed from the online lender, because you may end up just down the road where they go, it's just too expensive, I can't do it. So one of the tools that we have, and you guys I'm sure have heard about it, everybody talks about it, I just want to kind of explain a little bit, is a rate buy down. So have you guys heard the term buy down? So buy down kind of encompasses a lot of things. You can buy your rate down at any time in any transaction anywhere. You pay points to lower the interest rate for the life of the loan. That's what most people know of as a buy down, right? So the cost of the points lowers the rate. We talked about it in the last meeting about how much that can be. When you're doing a buy down for the life of the loan where you're paying those points to lower the rate, it can be really expensive. So here's an example. Today, I just pulled up some numbers, $350,000 purchase price with 10% down and a 740 credit score. They'd be looking at a 6.875 interest rate with no points. So the payment for principal and interest is $2,040. If they wanted to buy that rate down to 5.875, 1 point for the life of the loan, just to go down to 5.875, it'll cost them $9,400. It only saves them $200 a month, $203. It'll take them 46 months to recoup those upfront costs. It's expensive. And a lot of people don't have the extra $9,400 that they want to throw in to do that. So another alternative, the other reason that this is not necessarily the best idea for your clients is that we do expect interest rates are going to come down. We may see them come down as early as December or first quarter next year. And they're talking, we may see them start with a 4 again. So that'll be a great opportunity for people who have been waiting to buy, or if they've locked in an interest rate that was too high to refinance. So there's plenty of opportunities for that to come. But if someone spent $9,400 to buy their rate down, to save them $200,
Mm.
they won't make up that cost they've spent if they refinance in 12 months or 24 months.
Mhm.
So it's not the best idea to pay a lot of points to lower your rate. So the other buy down that people talk about is a temporary buy down. So this is the one builders offered back in the day before the crash. Lots of builders used to do it. Now you're hearing it a lot. Lenders talk about using it, or sellers to, talk to your sellers about offering this to their client, or instead of a rate reduction, price reduction, do this kind of incentive. So what it is it takes the note rate. So today's rate was 6.875. And if you do a temporary 2-1 buy down, that means you go from 6.875 for the first year down to 4.875. And then for the second year to 5.875. So if you were offering to a buyer to be able to come in and purchase your listing at 4.875, that might cause some more people to go, oh, that's interesting. I would like a 4.875 interest rate. Do you know what the cost is to do that for your seller? To buy it down for 2 points the first year and 1 point the second year, $5,400 on a $350,000 price. So like in comparison to the discount point buy down, it saves them way more money. It can be really impactful as a tool to be able to say, hey, we can get you an interest rate that starts in the 4s. And you can use that to help your sellers to maybe give up a little bit of the money, but try to attract some more buyers that way without necessarily having to reduce their price to do so.
So Jen, can I ask you a
Next
question?
Yeah.
Because I think everybody heard you, but I don't think they understood what you said. Because typically in a time where the market demands concessions, a buyer will ask, usually the magic number is for 3%. And the example you gave, that's roughly $10,000.
Mhm.
And a lot of times the sellers will do that. You just gave them a reason to cut that in half and only give 5,000. If that's part of the marketing on that listing,
Mhm.
is it will cost them half of 10,000 to get somebody, a buyer interested in the first place, who may say, I'm not willing to buy because interest rates are at 6.875. And here it is, you have a beautiful house, a listing. Everyone has listings, hopefully, at 4.875. It's going to save your seller $5,000 and make you look like what? A genius.
Well, and I just had an agent call me today and say, hey, I've got this listing, I'm about to put it on the market. I could list it at 345 and offer $20,000 towards the buyer to lower their interest rate. How can I use this money? And so we talked through how can we use it? What can we market? What can we put on the MLS listing to try to incentivize and show that it's out there? So utilize the tools and utilize us to help you with those things, to have those conversations. I've had people even say, can you explain this to my sellers, please? I will be happy to. I'd be happy to talk to your sellers and help them to understand some of those tools that are available to them to market. Yes?
So how often, as a buyer's agent, can you make that happen after the fact? Like tell a seller, you know what I mean? To
So-
put that money towards knocking the mortgage rate down?
When you're negotiating it in the
Okay.
contract, you want to negotiate it as a concession. It's still subject to the same guidelines and rules that we have for those concessions that we used to say were just towards closing costs. Well, instead of, marketing them as something to cover your closing costs, we want to talk to your buyers even about, hey, let's see if we can convince this seller to give you some money to buy the interest rates down. Then they're not coming in with an expectation of no closing costs. They're coming in with the expectation that they're going to get a lower interest rate that is more palatable. And if they do refinance in that period of time, during the time period, that money is actually put into an escrow account and used to pay some of their mortgage for them. So that escrow account comes back to them. They would actually still get the benefit of that money. Yes, Tom.
Two parts. So one, the buyer still has to qualify, right?
Of course, and we're qualifying them on the note rates, not the lower rate. Doesn't allow them to get the lower rate to be able to qualify for a bigger mortgage. They still have to qualify for the rate that is the note rate on the loan.
Okay. Second part of that is, a lot of times an appraiser will want to know what's being contributed to the buyer.
Mhm.
So will this affect the appraisal rates as well?
So the appraiser's still gonna treat the appraisal like a typical appraisal. They're gonna look at what the comps are, what is sold, what's typical and concessions in the area. Most of the time, anytime we still see concessions within that 3 to 6% range, the appraisers will note that it is typical and customary for the area. So it shouldn't impact the value that they're giving to the home.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just add one thing too, Jen? Guys, I want to make sure we're clear with this. if you take a listing and you're marketing, you must speak to Jen. Or whoever your mortgage, hopefully it's Jen, speak to your mortgage person for the verbiage. You cannot market a house listing at 4.875%. That's called a triggering term,
Right, you can't
which
put a
means you
rate,
have to disclose everything else.
right,
So don't go ahead with your marketing genius and say, I'm gonna put signs out. That's a triggering term, which means you're gonna get violated. Right? So
Right.
speak to Jen and she'll give you the marketing or what you can or can't say.
Violation.
Yeah.
Don't
you
do it
can say the
yourself.
seller will help to lower the rate by 2%. You can't say the rate will be 4.87.
That is correct.
Cannot say what the interest rate will be.
No violation.
It goes to the note rate. So goes down by 2, down by 1. And then you're just at that higher interest rate. You'll be there for the next 28 years. You can refinance it anytime. There's also a 1-1, which means that the rate is reduced for 1 year. That's a less cost to do it. The cost of this type of temporary buy down is the exact number that it saves you. There's no like extra savings. It's basically like they're saying, we'll save you $10,000 instead of making $10,000 payment to us, the seller's gonna pay part of your mortgage for you. It's not any extra savings, but it's someone else is helping to subsidize your payment. So there's a couple flyers there. If anybody wants anything, any flyer like that, co-branded with your information on the
One last
bottom.
question.
Yes.
Yeah, well, so,
Sorry.
as the listing agent, if we're gonna market that, right? So I guess my question is doesn't the cost of points change depending on like the specific buyer, right, and their interest rate? So like, if we're marketing it, I guess just how does that look like? Maybe the seller is expecting X and then Y, like.
So this is different from points because it's not discount points. But the rate that is available to every single buyer in every single situation is different. So you can't quote what their rate would be because you don't know if, Tina's got a 580 credit score and Regina's got a 720 credit score. They're going to get different interest rates and different terms available. So you'll never know what the rate will be, and those would change day to day. But you can state that they will use the seller will give a credit to buy the current rate down by 2%. That makes sense. So whatever rate is available to you, you get a 2% discount for the first year and a 1% discount in the second year.
We don't really know what that total number looks
Right.
like until. So the seller's kind of taking a little bit of risk, just not knowing the exact cost of that.
Well, the seller we can work together to talk about an approximation of what the exact
Okay.
cost would be. But the seller would give it as a lump sum amount, and then we would use it to apply to that. Mhm.
Good stuff, guys.
All right.
Fantastic, guys.
There's we're having a Halloween spectacular happy hour event at Bella Colina on the 19th. We're hosting. I will have a link for it sometime on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll put one on the Keller Williams page. It is from 6:30 to 9:30.
In the clubhouse?
Bella Colina in the club, in the atrium area by the fountain.
Oh.
And it's a costume contest, so wear a costume and it will be it will be judged, there will be prizes. So check it out.
Tom's gonna come as a text. So guys, doesn't Melissa look great?
Getting there.
I think that's the most beautiful thing in the world. When a woman is pregnant, they have that glow, right? So
Thanks. Are we able to pull Nicole up?
can we
Is that
pull the call?
possible? They like to show me. But I'm usually the one hiding behind the computer doing your paperwork.
I got it. We're bringing you up, Nicole. Give us a second.
Let's do this.
On to what she's saying, because I just stare at contracts all day long. I'm seeing it more and more. Like every day now, so.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Or it literally
Awesome.
says. Lie down. I haven't used it.
So how many people know Melissa does? Raise your hand. If you don't, you'll find out.
Okay, yeah, so Melissa is one of our amazing TCs that we have on our team. We have about 20 TCs. We're all licensed and insured, and I know we've already been to a few meetings before, so it's been really great meeting everybody, and we've already been helping quite a few of you. So we thank you for your business, and Welcome, Charles. I'm still trying to figure out the counterclockwise thing. I don't. Like, wow, that was wild. So that was really great. And welcome. It was really cool to meet you today. Sorry I couldn't be there. I'm taking my grandma to the foot doctor today and I would have never made it back home in time. So, but we definitely want to make sure that we're there. We're so thankful that Melissa's there today. So one of the things that Charles was talking about is about, you know, with that important, not important, the paperwork side of things is something that's important to us, that's urgent for us, that we want to take off your plate for you so that you can focus on the really important stuff, which is the lead generation and most importantly, the lead conversion. I know that's what I do for List to Close. I'm the client relationship manager. So my job is to do the same thing. So I totally get where you guys are at. It takes a lot of time to do that, to build relationships. So a wonderful, amazing TCs like Melissa are there. They're behind their computers all day, working really hard to make sure that we can take that off your plates for you. So if any of you have any questions, I've been calling through to everybody to introduce us and introduce myself. So we are here for you to be a service and to be a resource. And also today, we just wanted to give you a little TC tip about writing addendums. When repair requests are being made from buyers, it's really important to get that on a separate addendum. Some of the verbiage that RTCs use is that, you know, we're asking for receipts and asking for licensed people when it's necessary, especially for 4-point issues. So that's really important. And the greatest thing about using List to Close for that is that we take care of that piece for you. We will write up the addendum for you. We'll make sure it goes out for signatures. And we'll just make sure that that piece is taken care of for you. And we'll also reach out and make sure that the repairs are being taken care of, that we've got the pictures for you, the receipts, and then scheduling the re-inspection if needed. So lots of, you know, great stuff there. And again, we're just here to be a service to you all. Does anybody have a question?
I so appreciate that, Nicole, because, you know, once again, as I did my due diligence finding Charles, took me 4 or 5 months to find the transaction to close company that you both represent. And I don't take that lightly when I form an alliance or a partnership with the company. So you went so fast. I want to make sure we get the important
I'm so
thing.
sorry. I'm a fast talker.
Licensed and insured people. Guys, you have no idea what it's like to have a transaction to close person that's licensed. They can write addendums. If you're not licensed, you cannot write an addendum. These things, they make sure, and they're insured. If there's a boo-boo, there's E&O, just like real estate. This isn't some fly-by-night person who's just doing transaction to close, giving you a discount when they make a mistake. You can sue them, but you're not getting paid. Your customers will sue, and then your stuff, you will be stuck holding the bag. That's why I chose a big company. Last year, they closed 3,200 transactions. They're scheduled to close more this year. So right now, we formed an alliance, a partnership with one of the big ladies. So that, guys, that's really important. I want to emphasize they're all of them. Melissa handles this office. Melissa goes out on maternity. Melissa goes on vacation. Melissa's out sick. Everybody's licensed in the company. If you don't have a license, you can't work there. Does everybody get that? Guys, that's worth I can't tell you how important that is. Does that sound about, do you want to sit?
No, I'm fine.
You sure?
No, I was gonna say, I can't tell you.
Yeah. Give me some gasoline. All right, no problem. So guys,
I was just gonna say, I can't tell you how many people we talk to that, you know, eventually sign on with us. The first thing they say is they have a virtual assistant in the Philippines. And they've had, you know, they've been trying to train them for months and months and months, and they're not able to, they're like, I don't have time to train them anymore. I just need somebody to do it. So that's a great thing. And we've
that's
all
familiar
been-
with Command,
Yeah.
right? They're from Callaway. And guys, here's the other thing. Do you think that the virtual in the Philippines is licensed? Do you think they're insured? When they make a mistake, who's paying? Ouch.
They can't write addendums either.
They can't write, they're not licensed. I'm just putting this out there, guys. So there's a reason why we chose to be in partnership and business with them. So I just want to make sure we take advantage. So guys, I so appreciate you, Mike. I want to get you up here before and guys, don't forget Magnolia downstairs, our in-house title company is one of our biggest sponsors with Movement and with List to Close, and also with our property management company that we have an agreement where you get paid on. Our property management division, Rick Sign, Real Source Property Management, guys, you get paid on. You get passive income, you get paid on. What do you think the most important thing I said? You get paid on?
Right.
Because people they don't remember.
What was the name of the TC company?
List to close. Yes.
I just thought you'd take a picture. Thank you. Easy way to delegate a whole lot of stuff that you don't need to worry about if you send it over to your TC.
We don't get paid unless you get paid. So if your transaction doesn't close and cancels,
Yeah,
we don't get anything.
you don't have to waste your time.
One of the things, I think.
Is everybody aware that the amount of time you put into from list to close is about 15 to 20 hours time? It's anywhere from 15 to 20. If it's a clean deal, maybe 15 hours. It's a headache deal, probably 20 hours. So you can just take that off your plate and leverage that so you can reinvest your time back into your business. So I'm just going to put this out there. A listing agent in today's market makes about $1,000 an hour. A buyer's agent in this market makes between $300 and $350 an hour. Transaction to close to offset it, it's about $20 an hour, $22 an hour. So would you rather offset? Do you want to leverage the $1,000 an hour job? Or would you rather make that? You want to leverage the $350 an hour job, or do you want to make that? Do you want to leverage the job that's going to pay $22 an hour? So you can go back and go make $1,000 an hour? Does that make more sense to you? Read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You'll get there faster. Get it, Mike.
All right, so couple of things, and I can talk more about the second one if anybody's interested, but so the second one that I'll get to is you can now post from command, from campaigns in command to Instagram. So if you want to learn more about that, I'll hang out a little bit. I want to respect everybody's time. People are leaving for meetings. Then I wanted to bring this up again. This is our link tree. There is tons of resources on there. Bold registration starts next week. Register, go. Shifting market. There's actually going to be things in bold that involve shift as well. So they've kind of rewritten it. So if you're like, I've done bold, you haven't done this one. All right. Next thing that I want to point out is if you need to set up a productivity training meeting or a tech training meeting, right there on the site, just click through. It's our Calendly link. It'll show you when we're available. That's the fastest way to do it rather than trying to get us on the phone and trying to coordinate all that. Another thing, I've been working on the KW Claremont YouTube channel. Click on this one, subscribe to it. I already did, so I'm not going to click on that. We have a couple of things. I'm taking the educational pieces out of the team meetings and I'm putting them in videos. So got one 5 minutes, Rich talking about what is your work worth, building a team and leverage, business planning. That was a class that Rich taught. We have a class that I taught, Smart Plans Overview. We have Tennille Bigger's interview on there, and I'm working to add more things on there all the time. So we're taking the chunk of team meeting that everybody's here for, the educational piece, and we're now putting it on YouTube. Don't expect it like a YouTube channel going up because I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I'm a full-time MCTT, agent services, and all the other things I do. So this is going to be an added bonus. So if you miss a class, we're going to try and get it up on here.
So Mike, so just to be clear, that doesn't mean don't come to the team meeting, take the shortcut to the educational. What
No.
it means is come to the team meeth and then watch it for a second time so you can
Yeah.
take better notes.
Absolutely. So this
Is
is
that clear?
this is an added, not a Cliff's Notes. Don't do that. All right, and then I'm just gonna go back real quick and show you campaigns. So if I go over here to social posts, I have
Does everybody know what campaigns is? If you don't, it's okay. The people who do, raise your hand. That's a polite way of saying I didn't want the people that didn't to raise their hands, right? So now I know half the room doesn't know what it is. So campaigns is where you can actually put out a MOFR, a MOFR. Does everybody know what a MOFR is? Don't go to the street. This is PG. Make offer for immediate response, MOFIR, MOFR. So you're going to put an ad on social media from your command, right from your own command. You can post to any social media.
Yeah, so you can do paid ads. This, what I'm talking about right now is social posts. So when you're talking about, okay, how do I reduce my expenses? How do I increase my profit? Well, social media, it's out there, post regularly. And what you can do now is you can say, I'm gonna, at the beginning of the month, plan out my social media for the entire month for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And then in an hour or two, you're done for that month and you've just value add to your business. But yeah, they just added Instagram to that. So yeah, you can now directly from command post to Instagram. So with designs in command or your own pictures or whatever, or the ones that are already made.
Valerie on Zoom said, Mike is such an amazing resource. Please tell all of the people in the room to attend his sessions. They are so helpful.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. We're over time, so.
Yeah. So guys, did you get some things to take away from today's team meeting?
Yes.
Are you getting value and steak on that bone? Meat and potatoes, guys, that's what we deliver. Anybody who'd like to stay afterwards and ask Charles any questions, we're here and we're freed up till 2 o'clock. We're here to help you. Also, tonight is career night from 5 o'clock to 6:30. You know anybody who's thinking about getting into real estate, or if they already have a license or something, we'll be teaching. We do this twice a month now. 1 week it's 3 to 4:30. The next week it's 5 to 6:30. It's every other week we do it. Any questions? It's tonight. You know someone, want to build your downline, create profit share, get them into the class. One of the ALC members or myself or Charles will be the instructor. Who says I don't stay after 5? So tonight I'm the instructor. Guys, congratulations, Charles. Where's Charles?
We saw you in his interview.
Simone. I don't worry.